What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to YGOPD, your Yu-Gi-Oh! Professional Development, and today I have a live twin Melffy Spright deck profile. All of those little engines kind of jam-packed into a nice 40-card list. This is kind of the main meta deck that I've been having the most fun with this format. Really enjoy it. It feels a lot more fair, interactive. Games just feel really cool. With this deck, I really enjoy it. It just has so many different unique tools. I can do an update on the Goatee profile if people are interested. I know a few people have asked about that. Just kind of hard to do with the loss of Elf. That extra level 2 body really did help. But if you're really interested, I can showcase that down the line. But of course, before we hop into it, I want to give a shout out to our new public subs of the channel. Duck, David, and Enrique, thank you all so much for joining. If you want to be included in that next public shout out, make sure your subscriptions are public when you subscribe so I know who you are. With all that said, we'll go ahead and hop right into the deck. All right, starting with the main deck, this is going to be a fairly standard Spright package, but triple Spright blue. I was lucky enough, I think, to pull one of these and then decided to pick up the other two right before the ban list dropped. I got it really lucky at about 25 bucks for these. The alties for these look so clean. I think this and Rhino Heart cards where you have that spiral on that blue background just looks really, really cool. So definitely really like these cards. That's another reason why I like playing them, is just I want to get as much mileage out of these as I can before they hopefully, I hope they don't, but they might get hit. But blue is our main extender and rota for any Spright monster. Similar to that is triple Spright Jet. Same thing, but getting any Spright spell or trap. And then rounding out the Spright monsters, we just have one red and one carrot. I don't think you really need a second red. I've never felt it. You could also play pixies in here because you're playing the live twins. If you want to keep your Link 2s protected or prevent them from running over stuff in battle, you can do that. But yeah, still really fine package. And then, of course, the now 2 starter. This has not made that big of a difference. I truly think blue is probably the best card of the deck, since blue gets jet to get starter to get other things. Just really powerful. And then I'm running one of each for Gamma Burst, Smashers, and the Double Cross. These are all really great. This build I obviously want to focus on going first. I've always been a really big fan of Double Cross. I think with the multitude of engines in this deck, you can get away with running it because you're always going to have either an Xyz on board or a Link 2 that you can just snatch steal something. Being able to snatch steal something is just like a really unique form of interruption, and a lot of decks can't play through it, and it really slows them down, if not ends their turn. Smashers is pretty standard. This is your general piece of non-targeting, non-destructive spot removal for any problematic towers or floodgates. And then Gamma Burst, this card, I never played this in Spright until now, you know, like probably what, a year or so later now. It's a little too late by this point almost, but it's amazing. It steals so many games. This card feels like, I guess, the equivalent of like making update access. There's just a lot of games where your hands are kind of but you can push with Gamma Burst and just OTK when you have no right to. It's just really, really cool. So that's it for the Sprights. The rest I'll talk about a little bit. The live twin package. It's not, I would say, as standard as some of the others, but we're on 3 Lilla and then 3 Kiss-a-Kill. These are your main normal summons. I wanted to max out on just the cards that give you the most advantage by themselves, because being able to normal and resolve either Kiss-a-Kill or Lilla can get you either full live twin combo or into full Spright combo just by making gigantic. I wanted the most threat possible. I didn't really like opening the one of Frost. It's like okay, but it's not my cup of tea. So these 6 are fine. And then in that same vein, we're playing actually 2 Home, which is probably a little bit different. You usually see multiple Sunny Snitch and a Frost and maybe a Treat, but this is all I'm doing. The discard isn't as big of a deal because your main combo draws you an extra card through it with cards like this or Hyperia as kind of foreshadowing, but it really makes up for it. Just getting the body on board matters so much, and sticking that and being able to resolve effects. So that's kind of where I like it. I like the 8 ways to actually get a name that gets you other things, paying for itself basically. So that's it for the twins. And then the smaller Melffy package, 1 Caddy, 1 Penny. I originally had like 10 Melffys in here and was thinking of just doing a pure Melffy Spright build because the Melffys grind like no one's business. It's really cool. The more I play it, the more I cut it down. I just am okay with this. I think I still want to explore just pure Melffy Spright because I'm just a really big fan of that engine and what it can do. But Caddy searches you Penny. If you want extra random targets, you could play. I was originally doing 2 Caddy and a Hopier, so I was playing an extra Caddy and a Hopier in place of the 2 Homes. But again, what kind of made me cut this down was I didn't realize that the add with caddy is optional. So even hard opening penny is not a big deal. You can still bounce caddy. And if you have the penny already still on board, it's still live. That's kind of what really made me decide to cut the engine a little bit down. And then one Hyperia, I just wanted something random off of Gigantic, because there's a lot of times you'll have the twins, you'll have blue and jet, and then like you might already open either red or carrot or a way to get it, aka starter, and you just don't feel like getting like that extra piece since you already have the ways to it. Hyperia is just a good normal summon in general. +1, great thing to get off Gigantic. It does suck when you open it compared to having another normal summon, but I'm still a big fan of this. If you don't like it, you could just cut Soul Scissors and play something like that, or play other Melffys or other hand traps, but I really like the one Hyperia still. I think it's really good. Still a big fan of just the extra draw. I really prioritize drawing in this build, I guess I would say. So that's it for the Twin, the Spright, and the Melffys. The rest of the deck is all non-engine. I'll talk a bit about the hand traps first. Triple Ash. Pretty straightforward here. Not much needs to be said. Droll is still, I personally believe, one of the strongest hand traps in the format, regardless of what people say about Super Heavy being dead or other decks not adding as much. This still puts the game at a pace that is either comparable to what you need or just shuts off their turn. I still think Droll is one of the most powerful hand traps in the game right now. And then 3 Imperm, again, the best, most versatile going first or going second hand trap. Not much needs to be said about that. And the last hand trap is double DD Crow. You could also, you know, cut the Hyperia and put in like a 3 Bestial package and not play Crows. As I've more tested and more played, I like the ability to Crow instantly. Like, I don't want to have to wait to be able to use the Bestials. And there's random things that I would like to get sometimes that maybe Bestials don't get because they're monster focused that I can just nab out of the grave. So Crow really kind of fits those check boxes that I'm just looking for, that immediacy and the versatility of hitting whatever I want. After that, we're playing 2 talents and 1 called by. In reality, I think I'm going to up talents to 3. In this kind of a deck where like your consistency is already so high, just being able to bait a hand trap and then rip an additional card out of their hand matters so much. So I think 3 talents is definitely the way to go. And then another card I'm considering to bump up to 3, which is the 39th and 40th card, is triple, or not triple, but maybe down the line, double Econ for now. Big fan of this card. This card has been, if I could pick any non-engine card that's the MVP, it's been Emergency Controller, or Emergency Enemy Controller, sorry. This card, dodging so many random interruptions, it also is really great with Rogue, things like Trap Tricks, Runic, just being able to play around a lot of stuff, steal their things, and just continue playing is really, really powerful. So Econ is definitely a really cool card, especially in the Live Twin build. It just makes way more use out of it than almost any other build out there. So if you're not playing this, I would at least recommend testing a couple to see what you think. They are really incredible. So that's it for the main deck. Like I said, a quick, clean 40 cards. For the extra deck, it's a little bit tight, but you still have a lot of flex depending on how you want to play it. For the Live Twins or Evil Twins, 1 Sunny Snitch, of course, and then 2 Kiss a Kill and 2 Lilla. I don't think you need any more than this. Your typical combo is you're going to always end going first, going on a red. You're going to use both to make a red, bring back a blue, make the blue link, and then get rid of those to then get the second red link, draw, whatever. You're always just ending on a red. So you're making 2 red in 1 turn typically. Whatever you're leading with, that's what you're going to get the draw off of or the effect off of. So yeah, that's really all you need. And then I guess the honorary one is 1 Muckracker. I think this ratio is perfectly fine. If you're really concerned, you could always put in a 3rd red since you go through like typically 2 in the first turn, but I really don't think it's needed. The Muckracker has just enough versatility that I think it's fine as is. After that, for the Melffys, we play 1 Forest, 1 Merry Melffy, and 1 Herald of the Arclight. I was playing a Joyous back when I was doing a bigger Melffy package. I really liked this to tag out into Xyz to then like bluff the fact that maybe you accidentally turned off your double cross or something like that, turn it back on, or double cross detached to Joyous, Joyous quick effect detached to special. Another Melffy was really cool. I still kind of want to explore that concept a bit more, but for now, these are all 3 pretty standard. This searches your caddy to get your engine, and then these are just one of the 2 synchros that you go into, either the Compulse or the Omni Negate / Macrocosmos. For the Spright piece, I don't think it's much needs to be said, but it's truly just 2 Gigantic and 1 Sprint. I think that's pretty straightforward here. Not much really needs to be said about those. And then, of course, rounding it out, we have the 1 Shadow Ninja, Ninja Mosquito, one Downard, and one Zeus. I don't think you need to play more than one Zeus because of Diablosis being gone. If you're that worried, you can. This card's amazing. I didn't realize this card had other effects. I was originally just using it because I was like, oh, this is the best Zeus target now because Sky Cavalry's like whatever. But the fact that you can just put a token on something and then if you have like 2 or 3 names on board and just keep attacking and just burn each time when they attack and just OTK is crazy. This card's really insane. This card's not a lot of money yet either. I still think if you don't have this, definitely pick it up. So that's it for the extra. Onto the side. The side I feel pretty good with. It's just very diverse. You're going to see a lot of 2-ofs, which I know some people may or may not agree with, but I like having the diversity of those kinds of options. But I'll start with the going first piece. You play triple Dimensional Barrier, and then I play double Grave of the Super Ancient Organism and 1 Ibly. You could play a third one of these. I think this is probably one of the better floodgates right now with decks like Sword Soul and Branded kind of being more at the forefront, particularly in my area. There's a lot more Sword Soul and Branded, so that's kind of where I'm leaning on with this card. Being able to shut off every other deck, or at least a lot of the other decks other than yourself, is nice. Ibly's always a good card. If you want, you could throw in something like, excuse me, a Crimson Resonator or a Sunny Snitch to deal with time or things like that, but I'm comfortable where this is at. For the going second cards, triple Dark Ruler, I think the one flex spot in here is probably the third Dark Ruler since there's a lot of 2-ofs. You could, like I said, cut one of these for a card to deal with in time, Crimson Resonator, that kind of thing. 2 Lightning Storm, and then 2 Evenly Matched. Again, just a lot of generic board breakers, you know, good cards. And then double Kaiju. Pick the biggest one just because that's the easiest thing to do with the Ninja Mosquito for OTKs and just burning in time is another in-engine way you can do that. But overall, you know, pretty standard, not much to really say about that. So that's it for the main extra inside. That's Live Twin Spright. I've been having so much fun with Spright. There's a lot of variants you can do. Like I said, I've been really trying to tool around with the Goatee again and make that come back. I really want to do more of a bigger, pure Melffy variant that I think is really, really cool and unexplored. There's even some Tri-Brigade stuff I've been screwing around with. I know that one's a bit more mainstream, but overall, yeah, that's it. There's going to be a lot of changes. Assault Synchron's actually going to be kind of nuts for this deck too, if you've seen that happening with Battles of Legends. But with all that said, I will see you all in the next one. Later.